What's up, family? What's up, family? Peace and love, peace and love. I wanted to come on today and talk about a question that I always get, as well as, a statement that I always see the queens, the feminines, the ladies bring up. Anytime we're talking about good men, wanting a good man, whatever, receiving your king, women will say, like, where are the good men? Or I'm ready, why isn't he there? And I just want to touch on this topic today. First of all, you're no less than a queen. Even if you're running your kingdom and your empire alone, you're no less than a queen. Let's be clear about that, feminines. Let's be clear. You're no less than one. I just feel like I need to say that. Just because he hasn't arrived, you still stand in your power, maintain your title. You know what I mean? Your status of where you are, your position. You're still a queen even if your king hasn't arrived. And you shouldn't feel otherwise, because I feel like society has this thing where they want to make us feel like that sometimes, queens. And it's like, come on, when you know who you are, you just act accordingly, baby. You don't even entertain things that ain't got nothing to do with you. I don't care what they say. Let's be clear, queens. You still are a queen. And I feel like when it comes to love and relationships and wanting that is perfectly fine. Like, I'll never forget, this may have been over 10 years ago, and I just started working in education. That might have been literally my first position in the school system, in a school in the education field. And I was actually going to school to be a therapist. I hadn't become a therapist yet. And I remember one of my mentors at the time, he worked there, very great guy, like a father figure. And I was talking to him one day, and, he helped me through a period in my life, like he really did. My father has been deceased since I was 19, so I didn't have that guidance, And I remember speaking to him, or I feel like he pulled me to the side and he was speaking to me as he always does, encouraging me. And he said, I always encourage him as well. I was like a daughter. And I said, sometimes society makes a woman feel like at a certain age, if you aren't married, committed, because everybody doesn't see marriage, traditional marriage, as their goal, right? But just in a commitment, having a man in your life, whatever, having a family, society will make you seem as if something is wrong with you because you're not at that point at a certain age. I said, but then again, society will try to make you feel like you're desperate if you want to be married. Like if you really want a relationship, a commitment, and a family. I said, it's funny to me. It's funny. And at that time, I wasn't nearly as awakened and enlightened as I am now. I was, but not as I am now. Remember, we grow, right? And that was over 10 years ago. So I was in early 30, right? And he said, you know what? Don't stop desiring something you want just because you don't have it yet. He said, first of all, it's like, you're going to school to be a therapist, right? I was like, yeah. He said, so you know that you're supposed to be a therapist. You're already a therapist, whether you have the paper or not, because more than likely, God gave you that gift. You already had it in you. He was like, I can see it. You were already a therapist, a counselor. That paper is just, I guess, a 3D validation. And that's what he said. He said, so when it comes to you wanting a husband, he said, why would you get discouraged when just like you becoming a therapist was your destiny? That's what God placed in you. If you want to be a wife, he was like, you're a wife and you're going to be a wife. Your husband is just being prepared and you're being prepared. Ladies, let me tell you, in the beginning, did I not say you're a queen even if you're in your empire alone right now? That does not make you any less than a queen or a wife or whatever it is you're striving to be, because your king isn't there yet. And that holds true to me, what he said, even to this day. And I look at it like that with anything I want in my life, because I'm glad that he referenced that. He was like, I did become a therapist. Within maybe like the next year, I became a therapist, right? Because I was almost literally at the end. of my clinicals and everything. And I remember him comparing that because he said, come on now, if don't let society fool you. He was like, if God told you you're a therapist, God told you you're a wife. He was like, you wouldn't want to be a wife if God didn't say you were a wife, because this is how he spoke to me at the time. So what I'm saying is, feminines, if you know you want to be a wife, if you know you want a husband, a king, myself, whatever you title it, I feel like I want a life partner, which is a partner you spend the rest of your life with. So, because we all know that sometimes we get husbands and all of that and, whatever, right? So I remember praying and manifesting that I want a life partner, a person that person is with me until they die or I die. That's just what I want. And I already spoke to the Most High about what I want and desire for it to look like. I'm no less than a life partner already, just because my life partner is not with me right now. You understand what I'm saying? You overstand, ladies? I know you do. You're no less than a queen. You're no less than a wife. But I feel like what it is, just as I was preparing to be a therapist and I hadn't became a therapist, I was right at the end. Literally, I may have had less than a year to go, not more than a year. Because remember, I said the next year I was a therapist. The next year I was. Some of you all are at the end and you may be tired. And I was tired at that time. But my destiny was to be that, and I pushed through it. And I made it. But I was already a therapist, just like he said. I was already one. It was just that 3D license, that 3D certification, those documents that told the 3D world that I was that. But God already knew it in the spiritual world, because that's the desire, that's the gift that was given to me. If the desire and the gift that was given to you to be a wife, you a wife, even if he ain't there yet, ladies. But I feel like your job is to prepare, just like I was in school preparing to be a therapist before I came one, even though I already was one. Your job is to be preparing yourself to be that until he gets there. And even when he gets there, you don't stop preparing, because I still have to train to be a therapist. Things change so much. I still have to study and research and renew my certifications. That's how you're going to do in life, ladies. If you haven't, I'm here to help you start. You're going to go ahead or continue preparing yourself to be a wife, to be a queen of a king. If that's what you want, you're going to continue to do that. Even once you become that, you're going to continue to do it because it's better for both of you all, right? It's not a position that you get and you just stop there. And remember, I said, just because you haven't received it, you could be right there on the edge. You could be right there at the end. I feel like some people are getting tired. Like, don't get tired, baby. I remember telling somebody, I'll wait forever for forever. What I meant was, something I really want, you don't really think I'm going to push through until I get it? People that know me know this about me. Once I say I'm going to do something, I don't stop until I see it into fruition. So they can call it whatever they want to call it, because I've been like that ever since I was a child. If I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. If I say I want something, I get it. Praise to the Most High. It ain't failed me yet. That's what was put in me. Timing. Remember, I did the video the other day and I said, it's not the manifestation, it's the timing. It's waiting on divine timing. Remember one thing when you're waiting, ladies. Someone said, I'm ready. I remember having a session with one of my clients, and I'm sure they said, I'm ready, why isn't he here, or something like that. And I said, I have no doubt that you're ready. How can I tell you you're not? You've been doing X, Y, and Z. You're ready. I said, but what you have to realize with divine timing is it's at play, because how you know your king ready? I said, how you know your king ready? I said, your king may still be being prepared. I said, you will never be fully prepared. You may be preparing. I said, but your king may be still working on himself. The Most High may still be working on him for you. And she was like, wow. I said, yeah. So just as my mentor told me years ago about not being discouraged, because if you have a desire, it's already yours, because you wouldn't have the desire if the Most High didn't give it to you. You can't get discouraged because you don't have it yet. Great things take time. Like, they really do take preparation. They really do. Something you really want, you have to be willing to wait forever for forever, even though it's just a figure of speech. What it means is you're going to see that thing through. You're not going to give up, especially when you know it's something you set in your mind. And I also want to leave you all with this, ladies, and I want to say this because this is important. Not only and this is only for those who are working on themselves or willing to work on yourself, because it's always about us. Even when we're seeking another person outside of us, it's always about us first. And remember, you have to continue to prepare. Remember that whatever you want, you already have to have it. Manifestation 101. Whatever you're seeking from somebody, or whatever thing you're seeking, you have to get on the vibration or the frequency to receive it, which means you've already sent it up in the spiritual realm. You already prayed about it. You already meditated on it. Whatever it is you've done, it does not matter if this is a person, if this is love, if this is a career, if this is abundance, if it's a business. It does not matter what this is. This is Manifestation 101, family. You have to have yourself on the vibration to receive it. I told a lady, I said, you want to know where the good men are. I said, you don't want good men, you want a good man, right? You want the person for you. I said, so have you actually written down, envisioned, spoke into the universe the type of man you want? Like, were you crystal clear, Visine clear about that? Because the universe don't respond to what we think is good and bad and what we doing down here. The universe responds to a frequency, but you have to be specific. So have you put out there what type of man you want? Wrote the vision, made it plain, you look at it, meditate on it, whatever you need to do. I said, and then once you do that, you have to get in alignment to attract that type of man. Whatever it is you're saying you see in him, I feel, what I was told, you have to either be you have to have it within you, because it's all spiritual before it manifests. So it's like, even with money, you have to be on a frequency to receive a certain amount of money. And sometimes, all the time, family, it's a mindset. It has nothing to do with it. If your mindset is that you want for example, a wealthy man, or a man that treats you a certain way, a man that does X, Y, and Z, do you love yourself? Do you treat yourself that way? Are you in alignment on that frequency and in that vibration of that man? Because I have to be honest with my feminines, because I'm always team us. Every woman ain't ready to be no wife. Some women have not perfected being a woman. Some women have not set their own lives in order to take care of themselves first, because I had to learn, put on your mask first. I told y'all about that in one of the videos. Put on your mask first. I love my son. I only have one child, so it hit different, right? The Most High only allowed me to birth one child, and I'm eternally grateful, right? But it just hit different when you got one, y'all. And I remember, I'll never forget when I went and took him on the plane for the first time, and I had heard that for years, but it hit real different. It still says you can't take care of him until you put your mask on. You can't save him until you put your own mask on first. Ladies, you can't be everything or attract your ultimate desires if you have not mastered loving and taking care of yourself first. I'm going to always tell you that, because that's how important it is. As a woman, we have a lot of power. We have a lot of gifts. Don't let society tell you different how amazing you are, ladies. You are the creators of life. Who gonna tell you you're not amazing? But even in knowing that you hold that kind of power, you have to know how to take care of yourself. I feel like the Most High blessed feminines with that type of essence, but we don't really truly know who we are, and we know how to actually protect and guard that essence. To be a creator of life, baby, you gotta have yourself in check. You gotta have yourself intact, because that's a great responsibility. You know what I mean? And it's like, because my son always says this, I couldn't even get it out. With great power comes great responsibility. Seriously, ladies. So even as you're manifesting your king, your partner that you deserve, you do. The Most High created it that way, wanted it to be that way. Or if not, women would have just been walking around here by ourselves like it was at first, because we created first, whatever. We'll talk about it another day. But we know it's true. But because we have them here and they're supposed to be our counterpart, they're, first of all, never let anyone tell you that you're desperate for wanting love from a male, that you shouldn't desire a king, or if you're a certain age, it's too late. How the fuck they gonna tell you that? They don't make the rules. And y'all know me, I always say we know who run it. We know who think they run it too, but we know who run it, right? So just know, make sure you're in alignment. Make sure you're vibrating at a level and you're on a frequency of whatever it is you're asking for, whatever it is you're praying for. And don't forget what I said when we started that, ladies. But I'm going to say it again. You are no less than a queen, even if you're running your empire alone and your king hasn't arrived. Make sure you're in alignment to receive the king you desire, because you only want one. So you don't have to worry about how many kings are out there. You just get in alignment to attract the one you want for you, right? And make sure that even when you get him, you realize the power and the essence that the Most High has placed on you, and you don't lose yourself in him. Make sure you still stand in your position, in your title, and y'all work together. I hope that I said something to inspire you, as usual. And I definitely hope I made you smile too, queens, because you're no less than a queen, even if you're still waiting on your king. Peace and love.